You've probably noticed it by now. Every time the moon shifts, you feel it. Maybe it's subtle, or maybe it's so intense that it disrupts your entire sense of balance. Either way, you've likely experienced the undeniable cycle of repeating negative patterns, emotional upheavals, relationship challenges, financial struggles that seem to resurface in sync with the moon's phases. And it's not just coincidence. So why is this happening? Why do these same negative patterns keep showing up over and over again during specific moon phases? In this video, we're going deep into the truth behind this cosmic connection, and most importantly, what you can do to break free from these cycles. Let's start with the foundational truth. The moon is more than just a celestial body lighting up the night sky. It's a mirror to your inner world, reflecting not only the external forces of the universe, but also the hidden aspects of your subconscious. The moon has been tied to human emotion, intuition, and cycles of transformation for centuries. But here's where it gets interesting. The moon's phases directly correlate with the ebb and flow of your internal energy. Each phase brings with it a different energetic frequency, and when you're not in alignment with that frequency, you get thrown off balance. That's when the negative patterns arise. But why does this keep happening to you specifically? You see, most of us are living unconsciously. We go through life reacting to external circumstances without ever looking inward. And when the moon enters its different phases, whether it's new moon, full moon, or any of the stages in between, it's not just lighting up the sky. It's illuminating the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. It's like a spotlight being shone on your deepest fears, unresolved traumas, and limiting beliefs. And if you're not aware of this, if you're not prepared to face what's being revealed, those negative patterns will keep showing up like clockwork. It's the universe's way of saying, hey, you need to deal with this. But most of us don't listen. We get caught in the same cycles over and over again because we're not paying attention to what the moon is trying to show us.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Now think about it. How many times have you found yourself in the same situation, asking, why does this keep happening to me? Maybe it's that toxic relationship you can't seem to break free from. Maybe it's the same financial struggles that show up every month. Or maybe it's that recurring feeling of self-doubt and unworthiness. Whatever it is, there's a reason it keeps coming back. The moon is bringing it to the surface so you can heal it, but if you're not aware of this, you'll keep pushing it back down, only for it to resurface during the next moon phase. And each time it comes back, it gets stronger, more intense, because the lesson is getting louder. The key to breaking free from these repeating negative patterns is awareness. You have to start paying attention to the moon's phases and how they affect you. Every phase of the moon has its own energy, its own message, and when you're in tune with that energy, you can use it to your advantage. Instead of being overwhelmed by the emotional turbulence that often comes with the full moon, for example, you can harness that energy to release what's no longer serving you. Instead of feeling lost and directionless during the new moon, you can use that time to set powerful intentions for the next phase of your life. The moon is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally in the process of self-discovery and transformation, but only if you're willing to work with it. Now, let me ask you something. What patterns in your life do you keep repeating? What is it that continues to show up month after month without fail? It's time to stop looking for external reasons and start looking within. The answers are there if you're willing to see them. So, let's dive deeper into this idea of the moon being a mirror to your subconscious mind. Most of us live our lives on the surface, focusing on what's happening in the external world, our jobs, our relationships, our day-to-day routines. But beneath the surface, there's a whole other world at play, the world of your subconscious mind. This is where your deepest fears, desires, and unresolved emotions live. And here's the thing, the moon phases are directly connected to your subconscious mind. When the moon enters certain phases, particularly the new moon and full moon, it's like a portal opens up, giving you access to the parts of yourself that you don't normally see. It's during these times that your subconscious mind becomes more active, and all of the unresolved issues that you've been pushing down start to rise to the surface. This is why so many people feel emotionally charged during these phases. It's not just the moon's gravitational pull that's affecting you, it's the pull of your own inner world. But here's where it gets tricky. If you're not consciously aware of what's happening, you'll mistake these emotional triggers for external problems. You'll blame your partner for that argument, or you'll think it's just bad luck that your finances took a hit again. But it's not about what's happening outside of you, it's about what's happening inside. The moon is simply reflecting the unresolved emotions and patterns in your subconscious, and it's doing this so you can heal and transform them. Let me give you a practical example. During the full moon, it's common for people to experience heightened emotions. This is because the full moon is illuminating the parts of your subconscious that are ready to be released. It's like a giant spotlight shining on your deepest emotional wounds. And if you're not aware of this, you'll get caught up in the drama at all. You'll find yourself reacting to situations, getting triggered by people, and feeling overwhelmed by emotions that seem to come out of nowhere. But if you're aware of what's happening, you can use the full moon's energy to consciously release those old patterns. You can say, okay, I see what's coming up. I'm ready to let this go. But here's the thing. Most of us aren't ready to let go. Most of us are so attached to our old patterns that we cling to them, even when they're causing us pain. And this is why the same negative patterns keep showing up during the moon phases. The moon is giving you an opportunity to release these patterns, but if you're not willing to let them go, they'll keep coming back stronger and stronger until you can't ignore them anymore. So, let me ask you, what are you holding on to that's keeping you stuck in these negative cycles? What fears, beliefs, or emotional wounds are you clinging to, even though they're no longer serving you? The moon is showing you what needs to be released, but it's up to you whether or not you're willing to do the work. Now, let's talk about how the moon phases directly influence your energy field. You are not just a physical body, you are an energetic being, constantly interacting with the energy around you. And the moon, being one of the most powerful celestial bodies in our solar system, has a profound impact on your energy field. But how exactly does this work? Each phase of the moon carries a different vibrational frequency. The new moon, for example, is a time of new beginnings, and its energy is all about setting intentions and planting seeds for the future. The full moon, on the other hand, is a time of culmination and release, and its energy is much more intense. When the moon is waxing, growing in size, the energy is about building and manifesting, whereas when the moon is waning, shrinking, the energy is about letting go and clearing space. But here's the thing, if your energy field is not in alignment with the moon's phases, you'll feel off balance. You might feel sluggish during the waxing phase when you're supposed to be taking action, or you might feel anxious and overwhelmed during the waning phase when you're supposed to be letting go. This misalignment creates resistance, and that resistance is what causes the negative patterns to keep showing up. The moon is constantly working with your energy field, whether you're aware of it or not. But when you're not in tune with its phases, you create energetic blockages that prevent you from moving forward. These blockages manifest as the same negative patterns, whether it's emotional turmoil, relationship challenges, or financial struggles, because your energy is not flowing in harmony with the natural cycles of the universe. So, how do you get your energy field in alignment with the moon's phases? It starts with awareness. You have to start paying attention to how you feel during each phase of the moon. Notice how your energy shifts as the moon moves through its cycle. Do you feel more energized during the waxing phase and more introspective during the waning phase? Or do you feel out of sync with these natural rhythms? The more aware you become of your own energy, the more you can work with the moon rather than against it. But awareness is just the first step. You also have to take action. This means aligning your daily practices with the moon's phases. During the new moon, for example, take time to set powerful intentions for what you want to create in your life. During the full moon, make space for deep emotional release and letting go of what no longer serves you. By aligning your actions with the energy of the moon, you'll start to experience a flow in your life that feels natural and effortless, rather than constantly struggling against the same negative patterns. So, let me ask you this. Are you ready to start working with the energy of the moon, rather than fighting against it? Are you willing to align your energy field with the natural cycles of the universe so you can finally break free from these repeating negative patterns? Now, let's bring it all together. The moon is not just a passive observer in the sky, it's an active participant in your spiritual journey. It's constantly guiding you, showing you what needs to be healed and released, and helping you to align with the natural rhythms of the universe. But if you're not paying attention, if you're not willing to do the inner work, you'll keep experiencing the same negative patterns over and over again during each moon phase. The truth is, these patterns are not here to punish you. They're here to wake you up. They're here to show you what's out of alignment in your life so you can take action to change it. But change doesn't happen by accident. It happens through conscious awareness and intentional action. So if you're tired of repeating the same negative cycles, if you're ready to break free from the emotional turbulence that comes with each moon phase, it's time to start paying attention. The moon is your guide, but it can only guide you if you're willing to listen. It's time to stop resisting the lessons that are being presented to you and start embracing the opportunities for growth and transformation. But here's the most important part. You don't have to do this alone. The moon is part of a much larger cosmic ecosystem that's always supporting you. The universe is constantly sending you signs, messages, and opportunities to align with your higher self. All you have to do is be open to receiving them. So, let me ask you one final question. Are you ready to break free from the negative patterns that have been holding you back? Are you ready to work with the moon's energy rather than against it and finally step into the flow of the universe? The choice is yours. The time is now, and the moon, it's waiting.